Today we got a bunch of really juicy Season 2 information for Brew Protocol Star Residence coming from the offline meeting with the developers from majority of the Chinese creators. Basically, a bunch of Chinese content creators got the chance to visit the Bokula office and play Season 2 ahead of time, including the 6 brand new dungeon, as well as ask the developer questions about stuff that they are interested about. Season 2 is set to launch in China on October 30th. It's going to have a brand new theme, which seems to be related to dreaming. It's going to come with 6 new dungeons with brand new mechanics, as well as 3 new raids throughout the entire seasons. Season 2 followed the introduction of a brand new NPC characters, Nia, who is in the miner, and new open world map, which involving the mine shaft is also going to open up as well. There's a little bit of preview when it comes down to the brand new mineshaft area. However, we currently do not know how the storyline is going to develop in the Season 2 at the current moment. New enemy seems to be rocks or mining theme based. We got a sneak peek of the first raid enemy, which is going to be this rock golem in this game. However, the current raid structure is unknown, but we did learn about the dungeon structures. The 6 new dungeons are going to have more intense mechanics, such as the snake boss, where it's like a boss chase battle. You hop on a minecart and you have to chase the boss down by shooting crystals. This puppet looking boss, where there's like a dreamy mechanics. There's like a mini hide and seek mechanics where you have to hide away from the point of view from the bosses. The Recycle Brew Protocol dungeon, where this dungeon was actually in the original Brew Protocol. It's kind of like a Wind Valley or something like that. The main mechanics is this dungeon is that there's going to be these launch pad that's going to launch you up really high into the air, and you have to do mid-air attack or dodging attack in the mid-air. And it was mentioned that there's going to be brand new mechanics like the soak. However, you have to do mid-air soak, so you have to regroup with your teammate in the middle of the air and soak up mid-air attack. A brand new soul separation dungeon, where the main mechanics is that a player is going to enter a different dimension, which is the soul separation, and the attack indicator you see are going to be completely backward. That means red zone is actually going to be safe, and you have to purposely enter the enemy indicators compared to traditional MMO where you avoid the indicators. Alongside with the new dungeon and new raid, of course, our character is going to get a brand new upgrade. Now, it was actually mentioned that the level cap is going to remain to be level 60, and there's not going to be new level cap, and the skills and talent system will be completely unchanged, meaning everything we have worked on the skills and the talent will be staying the exact same, but there will be a brand new role skills for you to additionally equip, kind of like a limit break from Final Fantasy XIV. The way it works is that our class is going to get divided into 3 roles, which are tank, healer, and DPS, and you'll be able to slot in 1 out of 4 role skills, which are like, again, limit break, to assist you in battle. These skills are very game changing and has a very long cooldown, like 2 to 3 minutes, but the skills description currently we know are things like tank will have a super taunt, or you can do a skills that involve dropping aggro to completely drop the aggros, which is very interesting because that is a suggestion for swap tank max. What likely will happen in the brand new raid is that one tank has to use the limit break to drop their aggro, while the secondary tank has to use a super taunt to take over aggro instantly, and in the process change out your tank in seconds, so that will be interesting to see. In other words, we also get some news about the healer limit break. Healer is going to be able to have a revive skills on demand. You're only going to be able to revive 1 person at a time with your limit break, so Arona is not going to get power crap, but you still have a ability to revive your teammate without using the Arona Imagi, which is absolutely huge. Now, while characters are not going to be getting additional skill or talent upgrade, we're going to be getting a brand new system where all the Chinese creators pretty much describe them as like Keystones or rune from League of Legends. Essentially, there's going to be 8 new Keystones for you to choose from, and you can choose any of the Keystones. Once you have chosen a corresponding runes or keystones, you can then start expanding it into different paths, which is going to be like DPS, tank, or support, and they're going to have very different and game-changing ability. Kind of like tripod or skill mod from Lost Ark. They're going to be able to modify your ability so that they will do different stuff. We currently don't really know what the modification look like, but some of the example given is that, for example, Yaido is going to be able to simultaneous cast their Thunder Cuts alongside with another skills, or a class like Skyward Winite is going to be able to turn their sharpness buff from like a buff skills into more like a cooldown skills. So you can activate a cooldown and instantly get the sharpness buff instead. It is going to be the main season benefit, kind of like the album system. So it's mentioned that next to the album system, there's going to be a new tab that has the brand new skill tree inside. And overall, it looks something like this, like a proper tree. And you have to go down a path and start speccing for skill nodes. Now, the most interesting thing that have been described so far that might change your current plan is that alongside of the Keystone system, above the current Keystones, there's going to be 5 slots that allow you to slot in 5 unused Imagi to power up the buff. Now, it was mentioned by a lot of creators that buff is like very negligible. It really doesn't do anything. Kind of like the current album where it really just doesn't do anything. But the way it works is that in order to get the maximum benefit from the buff, you're going to have to slot in 5 unused Imagi. In order to actually cap out, you need to have 5 Imagi that are purple at tier 5 or gold at tier 0. You can mix and match. So for example, it's possible to have 1 purple tier 5, 2 purple tier 5, 3 purple tier 5, and then 2 tier 0 gold Imagi to fill up the entire thing. And this allows you to max out the entire slot benefit, or otherwise you can have 5 gold tier 0 Imagi or 5 gold purple tier 5 Imagis. It does not matter what the Imagi, their effect have nothing to do with the slot itself. You just have to put in 5 different Imagi that are currently unused. The Imagi you have equipped cannot be used in the brand new system, so you have to make additional Imagi after you're done with the current one. Now, this is something to start thinking about, because while we don't know enough information, it is something to definitely start considering in terms of keeping your spare Imagi wheel, especially if they use a different material than the current one. So for example, I'm currently pushing for the Muku Chef, but I can keep alternative Imagi like the Venom Bus Indicator just to slot in into the Season 2 skill tree system. Obviously, we don't have enough information at the current moment to say for sure what it's going to be look like and is it significant. However, I would suggest you to stop dismantling unused Imagi just in case they do become important. Speaking of Imagi, this is going to be the biggest because obviously Season 2 is going to have brand new Imagi. However, the developer has promised that they will not power creep existing Imagi and instead focus on creating new Imagi that complement the existing Imagis and provide effect that we currently don't have in the game. XDD, because you always know that you're going to power creep something. So for example, the Muku Chef will very likely stay to be the best crit type Imagi, and they're not going to make a super Muku Chef that just straight up power creep the existing Muku Chef. However, all the existing gold tier Imagi will be getting a adjustment, kind of like a buff. The reason why this is the case is because the current existing Imagi don't scale very well into Season 2 because their stat is flat. So one of the issues with current Imagi is that when you get them to tier 5, they provide 2000 mastery, and as you get better gear and as you get later into the game, the flat value become less and less meaningful, and this will be correspondingly adjusted in the Season 2. There were a creator that mentioned that these are going to change from flat value to percentage, while other creators have said that it's just going to straight up increase from like, let's say 2000 flat mastery to 4000 flat mastery to reflect the new value in Season 2's. But overall, it seems like the existing Imagis are going to be getting adjustment in terms of a buff. So once again, I would consider keeping Imagi that you might not currently think is good and use, but might get a very big major buff in Season 2. The biggest example of this is probably going to be the Spider Crab, especially for Wild Pack, because the Spider Crab at the current moment is not very good for Wild Pack in the late game, as the 2000 mastery is become less and less meaningful as you get more. However, if the Season 2 adjustment is going to be real, then there is going to be the potential that the Spider Crab become usable again for the Wild Pack marksman, so something you should consider starting to keep from here on. Alongside with new Imagi, there's going to be of course new gear. The refinement level will increase from maximum level 20 to maximum level 30. And alongside it, there's going to be new Star Forge Crystals. So right now we have Star Forge Crystal level 1, Star Forge Crystal level 2, and then there's going to be Star Forge Crystal level 3 in addition to that. However, they did also additionally add the ability to upgrade from Star Forge Crystal level 1 to level 2, and then upgrade from level 2 to level 3. So you might be able to trade in like 3 Star Forge Crystal level 1 to 1 crystal at level 2. In addition to the current 2 blessing material, which are the Berry Max Shard and the Moss Max Shard, They are also going to introduce a brand new mech chart, which is going to be an additional one that you can use alongside of these two. So right now, you can use both of these simultaneously to boost up your chances. In the new season, there's going to be a third one that you can use alongside of these two to further boost up your chances. There's going to be new gear, including new level 120 weapon and a brand new gear set that has completely different effect than the current existing gear set and stuff like that. Speaking of gear, this is something they already previously talked about, but a lot of people might not know about. Gear preset is going to be coming to Brew Protocol Star Residence, so you'll be able to switch out your gear or your Imagi a lot easier as well in Season 2. Speaking of quality of life changes, there's going to be a lot of quality of life changes coming. Starting off, Seedman Tower will not require you to start from floor 0 again every single time, and it's going to take your last highest floor, maybe like -10 floor, and you can simply start from there. So for example, if your highest record is 60, you might be able to start from floor 50 instead of having to go back from 0 all the way to 60. Multi-classing is something they are looking into improving with no additional details so far, but as we all know that changing class in this game is very hard and almost impossible to have a second main. Something they're looking to do is that once you have completed the gear for your first main, getting gear for your second main will be made significantly easier and stuff like that. Something they're looking to add as well, but currently do not have the coding and the server capability, is the trading center. They are looking to add buying and selling trading orders onto the trading center, so you don't have to keep on looking to see if there's item restock available. You can simply submit a buy and sell order, and item will automatically purchase or sell for you. In addition to that, they're looking for more ways to free-to-play to make Unbound Rune. One of the things that they're considering but don't currently have the capability to do it is to add sellable loot from doing raids or bidding in raids, so which are like common loot drop. So basically, after you have do a raid, there's going to be a item that drop that people can bid on, and whoever is the highest bidder win, and the rest of the raid group will split the profit. This is going to be one of the major ways for free-to-play player to make money, is to keep on doing raid to farm money so that they can keep farming that common loot drop. During the creator interview with the dev, it was actually revealed that the reason why the server is so bad and crashed so often is because of all of the mailing system taking up the server capability, the trading center taking up the server capability, and as a result, it's overloading the server with a bunch of different requests and the server end up going down. So these are problems they have to solve first before they can proceed with the future plan. Other than that, there are a couple of really interesting things that are revealed for the more leisure type player. Starting off with the dating system for the NPC, you're going to be able to play with different NPC and start building friendship with different NPC, kind of like the rapport system from Lost Ark. The new leisure activity is going to get added, but one of the biggest one that was actually mentioned is that they're going to add Japanese mahjong, exactly like Mahjong Soul, into the game, so you can have multiplayer 4-player PvP when it comes down to mahjong. Alongside from copying Mahjong from Mahjong Soul, they also aim to copy Simulated Universe from Honkai Star Rail, which is their go with new event. Event in the first season in Brew Protocol Star Residence feel very lackluster, they're very basic and not enough depth to it. In Season 2, they aim to make this event a lot more in-depth and a lot more fun. The goal here is to make something very similar to Simulated Universe from Honkai Star Rail. Other update that was already previously mentioned by the developers include things like adding the potential to do AI in the 20-man raid, adding the possibility to change your body size, so you're going to be able to change from body type 1 to 2 to 3, but currently you won't be able to change your genders. Right? Housing also got a major update, including more optimization, more notification when it comes down to the planting logic, and more importantly is that they're going to allow you to visit your friend's house, adding new furniture and other things like that. Got a very fun one for you guys, because in the new season they're going to add the ability to make custom emo and emotion. You're going to be able to combine different emo and take different parts of different emo to make your own custom emotion. So for example, you can have the first 2 seconds of this like shock animation, and then you can chain that into like a deep in thought animation. Now some animation will be very limited and unusable for 18+ reasons, but other than that, it will be a very cool feature to have. The final update I got for you guys in this video is going to be the potential collab in November. The developer couldn't really say too much. They said that the deal might not even work out, but if it does work out, then we're going to see more news when it comes down to the very first potential IP collab in mid-November. So that's something very exciting to think about. A lot of people speculate that it is not going to be Sword Art Online because then they would have already announced it. But let me know what you guys think of the potential IP collab is going to be below. A lot of people speculate it's going to be things like Fearin because they like to do IP collab and stuff like that. Regardless, we'll see what it is, and we'll see if it do go through in the middle of November, in which case you'll see more news on this channel for sure. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you're excited for Brew Protocol Star Residence Season 2, and I'll see you guys on there. As a reminder, I do regularly live stream on Twitch, and I also have recently started a brand new VTuber channel documenting other games that I play, so be sure to check that out. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.